What's up, guys? Chad with Arc Hunter. Today I thought we'd go ahead and take a look at some of the backpacking stoves that I use or that I have on hand. I'm not going to say that I use all of these. Some of them I've made myself. Most of them I've bought. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the different ones. And the plus and minuses isn't necessarily going to be a review of each individual stove. We're just going to kind of take an overview of what I take in different situations and just the different kind of stoves that I have in general. So we're just going to go through the different kind of stoves that I have. In this Maxpedition large water bottle pouch, I have the Jetboil flash stove. I keep it in there to keep it protected. Adds a little bit of weight and bulk, but I can keep extra utensils and extra fuel bottle or extra fuel canister in that with me for longer duration trips, or if I'm cooking for more people than myself. Right here is just a typical penny can stove. I got my own pot stand that I made right here. I'll show you that here in a minute. This is an Esbit pot stove. It's not an Altoids 10, but it's similar to an Altoids 10, and it's a biofuel, I guess, kind of wood burning stove. This is like a sterno kind of stove. This is a jet stove made out of a Axe body spray can, an Esbit folding stove, and I have another stove inside this pot here that I'll show you in a minute. That's pretty cool, that I really like. And it's good for simple stuff just like coffee, things like that. So let's break it down one by one, and we'll take a closer look at these stoves. First, we're going to take a look at this Jetboil stove here. Let me take it out of this pouch. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Jetboil. I've done a review on it in the past, but there's the Jetboil flash. I don't know if you can see down in here. I have an extra can of jet. What is that called? Jet power fuel. Anyways, you don't have to use that. You can use any kind of standard fuel canister for this. But this is a great option for efficiency, for cooking for a lot of people. It's all self-contained. In this pot, I've got my titanium Optimus spork here, or spoon. It's not even a spork. As you can see, I got another kind of fuel canister here. It's MSR, it's not the jet power. But everything's self-contained, so you can cook right in this pot. Set it up. I'm not going to set it up. I'm not going to go through all that, but it's extremely efficient. Under ideal conditions, you can boil about 2 cups of water in about 90 seconds, and that's really efficient. So one of these will last me 3 meals a day over a week in the backcountry. And this is the small container. What is this? It is 110 grams. So yes, that's not bad. So that's my go-to option for a backpacking stove. This is what I use the majority of the time, because I'm cooking a lot of mountain house meals, stuff that I've got to rehydrate. So I want something quick, efficient, because usually I wait to the last minute to eat. I don't want to wait too long. But anyways, so that's the Jetboil. That's my first option. Okay, now we're going to look at this Esbit stove, and this is a very common stove. And what's great about this is it's compact, fairly lightweight, and very inexpensive. Unlike that Jetboil stove, that's one downfall, is it's a little bit bigger, and it costs about $100 for the flash. You can kind of find them on Amazon cheaper here and there, but typically they're going to run you about $100. These Esbit stoves, I think, are like $8, $12, something like that. Anyways, it's a little bit bigger than a deck of cards, and all it does is just fold up like this. And I haven't used this in a while, so it's getting kind of tough in here. Well, I've got some used cubes in here. As you can see, these are the used cubes. These are the unused cubes. But you have a couple different positions, and then you can open it all the way up there if you've got a larger pot to put on it. I believe for like 2 cups of water, or a cup and a half, or normally what it takes to rehydrate like a typical mountain house meal, it'll take about 2 of these cubes per meal. So Yeah, I think if this is your only option and you're going backpacking for a week or so, and I think this will hold 4 or 6 inside here, these cubes. If this is your only option, you know you're going to have to bring about 6 to 8 cubes per day for this. But it's not a bad option, and like I said, it's more cost effective, but you got to keep buying those cubes. So it's not bad. And the one downside to this that I have to say is it smells really bad. And we'll look at another pot that I have, the other Esbit stove, and you can look at the bottom, the residue it puts off, and then the smell is not good. So let's go ahead and take a look at that other Esbit stove. So this is another Esbit stove that I found at Dick's Sporting Goods. I just saw it one day and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So decided to buy it. It comes in a nice little, stuff sack here. And then you open it up. It's just basically a small pot with a lid on it. And this, I believe this, yeah, it does click up like that. So if this is on your stove, and you need to pick this up, you can do that with a stick or whatever, and just lift that up. It does have, so it's got 2 handles that fold out. It's got the insulated rubber right here. And it does have graduation marks. They're backwards here, but they're the right side on, the right way on the inside here. So you got the lid, and then, so I keep a lighter inside, and I keep these cubes inside. And you take it out, and this is your stove itself. Let me dump these cubes out here. See, as you can see, I got some burnt residue in here. But that little thing right here, that's where you put your cubes in. You can stack them up a couple high, and then your cup just nests right down in there, and this kind of acts as a windscreen. And if you need to put more cubes in, you can do that, or you can light it that way. And it's pretty cool. I use it for coffee, things like that. It's kind of got some plastic feet here on the bottom. Haven't had any issues with those yet, but no, I really like this thing. It's a neat little product. It's lightweight aluminum, but yeah, it does the job. It's pretty cool. Okay guys, now we're going to move kind of into the homemade stove portion. I think the rest of the stoves that I have left are more of like a homemade, like DIY type thing, which I really like. I enjoy. And just as a disclaimer, I haven't used all these stoves out in the backcountry. I just like finding DIY tutorials and trying it myself. And I'm sure a lot of you know about his channel, but Intense Angler has a lot of good tutorials on how to make stoves. He does a great job, and that's where I found most of these. But this is an Axe body can spray stove, and it works really well. Basically, you cut off the bottom portion, you flare out the sides, cut off the top portion here, glue it down. You drill holes in here, and you punch out that top part, and then all you do is you put your fuel, which I use heat fuel, put it in the lip right here, kind of like let it drip down over the edges, and then you fill this top part with it. You light the side, which will then heat up the fuel in here, and then ignite the gas is coming out. So then when it's burning, it's kind of like a little like a stove in your house gas burner. And what I use for this, for a pot stand, I just took an old clothes hanger and bent it and kind of secured it, just kind of so it folds up nice and compact here. And then all you do is just put it right like that, and then you can set your pot right on top of there. So works pretty good. It's very lightweight, very compact. The only problem is you got to carry quite a bit of fuel with you. So along these same lines of this kind of stove, we'll move on to the penny can stove. Okay, so this is your typical penny can, tried true stove. You know, it's been around forever. So the basic concept is you take a pop can and you cut off the top, cut off the bottom, flare out the edges, glue one side to the other, and inside here I put some insulation. And what that soaks up the fuel, and then it evaporates, and then you can put your, you just put your fuel down in here, it'll soak up in here. You fill the edges, or you fill this edge here with fuel, light it, and the same principle, heats up the fuel inside and then these burners, and then you can control your burn with this penny right here with the jets out the side here. And then I use the same kind of homemade pot stand. Okay, now this is your typical, like, I guess generic sterno. I got these from, it's called Fancy Heat, I don't know, but I got these from the Dollar Tree for $1 a piece, and it's not the most efficient, but it's got a wick in here and it's got liquid inside. And then I just made, again, another basic pot stand of a little heavier gauge metal this time. Just put it right over like that, set your pot right on top, and you're good to go. These very cheap, inexpensive way to heat up some fuel. Now with all these that I've been showing you, you're going to need a windscreen for most of them, but I'll show you that windscreen that actually my dad made for me out of some flashing. It's pretty neat. Okay, now this one's pretty neat. This one's a DIY stove that I made out of a tin similar to an Altoids tin, and I'll show it to you here. It's I haven't used it. It's rusty, but I haven't used it. But anyways, I've got this hardware mesh here, and then you've got these aluminum posts, and all you do is well, you take this stuff out here, you put your hardware mesh in here like so, and then you take your aluminum posts, screw them in. And again, this was an idea from an Intense Angler. I can't take any credit for this. It was pretty neat though. And you put all 4 posts in here, and then you can lay your wood on top and burn little twigs and stuff like that. Ashes will fall down in here, and that's how you can boil your water. So that's pretty neat. And this is probably one of my favorite one, guys. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. And again, I got this idea from Intense Angler. He's got, I don't know where he gets them from, or if he's just that smart, but so I just got a GSI cup here, and inside I use a little clip here to keep it in place. And then, but I got a windscreen that my father made out of flashing, and then there's holes drilled in it there to let a little bit of air flow through. And then you just take that clip that I had, clip it together, and then put it around your stove. But I want to show you the stove that I'm carrying in here. It's made out of a shoe polish can. It's super cool. It's kind of the same concept as the last wood burning stove. But this one has 3 aluminum posts, and I use JB Weld to keep these screws in place. But this thing is really, really neat. So I've got the aluminum post here. Go ahead and screw these in for you. And I have used this on trips before, and I mainly use it for just kind of sitting around in the morning when I'm not cooking food, but I want to drink some coffee. Oops. But anyways, I'll get that in a minute, but you get the idea. This inside here is carbon felt, and what this is used for, it's a fabric that they put, a lot of times plumbers and stuff will put it on the wall behind the pipes that they're soldering, so the wall doesn't catch fire with the blowtorch and things like that. So this doesn't heat up. And what's neat is you take your fuel, you dump it in here, this soaks it all up, and then you can spark it, You can take a lighter and light it, and this will light up. And obviously and then you set your pot right on top of there. You put your windscreen around it, and then when you're done, all you need to do is blow it out. And then after you blow it out, this is automatically cool to the touch. And so you don't have to waste, you don't have to let all your fuel burn off. You can leave it in here, and this will stay, this will keep the fuel that you have, so you don't have to waste as much fuel. But this is really, really cool. Doesn't cost you much money. It's like $5, something like that. You got to buy the can and the post and things like that. But it's super neat. Really, really like it. But I'm going to go ahead and light all these up and kind of show you what they look like. I don't know if you'll be able to see them during the day, but just so you can see how they do work. Here, all these stoves are going now. So you can see the Esbit here, the alcohol stove here. I don't know if you will be able to see that too well. This one I couldn't get going. It's about done. This one is going real well. That's my other Esbit. And then you can probably hear the Jetboil back here. So, and then also the Sterno is going. So the only one that's not working is this one, which, they're easy to make. So, but that's it, guys. That's what I got for my backpacking stoves and some DIY stuff. If you got any questions on this stuff, go ahead and drop a comment below, and I'll try to help you out. Again, go to Intense Anglers page. Check out some of these homemade stoves that I got. I didn't put the wood burning one over here because I'm not going to go out and get twigs and everything. But these are all the the gas fuels, stuff like that that I have. So go over and check out his channel. Check out some of those DIY stoves. They're really cool, and they're fun to do too. So, and especially once you get them done and you see how how they work, it is pretty cool. So again, guys, thanks for watching, and please like, comment, share, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe. So it definitely helps out the channel. I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks, guys.